of civilization, Union still seeks to unite the human diaspora. But now, an edict, long since forgotten, can be heard again, scream from beyond the stars. Will humanity hear? Will we understand? For now, only one thing is certain. Our Lancers will respond when the Starcriers fly.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to RPGs Uncovered. We are back with another episode of the Starcrier Conflict. You can see over in the background between our lovely characters here, our new baby Starcrier friend. We'll be talking a little bit about that today, I'm sure. But before we get into the meat of today's episodes, let's handle the quick announcements and shilling. I don't think I have much. I like to keep these relatively simple. Well, let me start off first and foremost, as I always do, with a shout out to the Mayhem meter. Anybody watching along on Twitch, you can scroll down a little, head to the About page, scroll down a little more, and there's a nice little black and yellow banner, I believe it's black and yellow, with the Mayhem meter, and that is the best way I can think of, at least to a little tip collection page. It's the best way I can think of to collect funds to give back and compensate these wonderful people I have the privilege and pleasure to work with. So if you like the show, if you like what they are doing, please drop some money in the Mayhem meter. And added benefit, there's a little tally above my head, currently at 0, but we'll get there. Every time we fill that up, every 50 bucks, something crazy is going to happen. I usually have things in the background, but the Mayhem meter can get pretty crazy. Happened a few times on our demo play miniseries. But first and foremost, it's for giving back to these wonderful people. It's the best way I can think of trying to collect money for them. But if you would like to support the channel and the actual production quality of the Starcrier Conflict, what I'm focusing on right now, you can head over to our Ko-Fi. I'll save the whole shilling of that for later, but we got cool stuff over there. After shows and whatnot, little character blurbs here and there, not just for the Starcrier Conflict, but for all the previous demo play miniseries and whatnot. And I'm planning on doing an extended after show tonight, a little bit of a treat for our supporters, because we got a lot to talk about. So we're gonna do that tonight. But I have a lot of things I have planned. We have this wonderful art on the screen from Galen Peugeot, our Lancer characters, and our first Starcrier. I would love to get their mechs done. I would love to get some NPCs done, our important NPCs. And I have a whole bunch more enemies and Starcriers and different factional stuff that I'd like to get custom made, and all of that art costs. So that's the majority of where Ko-Fi support is going to go, support for the channel is going to go into giving back to the amazing artists and musicians and writers and whatnot in our community. Anyway, I've been yammering on enough, but I wanted to plug both of those things because I would love to just keep getting art in and compensate these wonderful people for all of their time and effort, because they've given me a lot to work with this week, and I'm very excited. But pushing past from that, stick around for our intermission. We'll have another word from our friends at Veil of the Void. I made a fun little advert, little commercial that I think is pretty cool. We'll look at that. And without further ado, let me pass it over to my players here to say hello.
Hello, I'm Sean, go by he, him pronouns. I am playing August Solitaire Walker, and I tried to come up with something witty for today about Tavik, but my brain went blank, so let's just say that Tavik's kind of an ass, and we'll just stick with that.
That's okay. It looks like his brain went blank too, so it's fine.
Ripperoni, oh my god. Jesus. Hey, howdy, hi, I'm Haley, and that was a sick self burn. Way to go. But yeah, Haley, I go by they them pronouns. I am playing Siobhan Carey. There is a train rolling past my house like right now. So choo choo, motherfuckers. Shit goes by I don't know what is happening to me right now, but it's happening to all of you now. So
One
I'm
day I'll
sorry.
get a good intro for the podcast. One day.
I'm so sorry.
We're all unhinged, and it's beautiful, and you should celebrate us for it. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Is it my turn? I think it's my turn. Hi, I'm Q. I hope you can hear me. Great. He, him. Tonight I'm going to be playing Logan Uhura, aka Desperado, who is also he, him. I remembered this time. Be proud of me.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Athen Mishan, call sign Blacksmith, also uses he, him pronouns. I would say that I am the pilot of blank mech, but there is no mech at the moment because it kind of got eaten.
You got
So-
heated.
Yeah. But yeah, good times. At least I got to punch Tavik last time, so that was fun.
I mean, if you want to count it, sure, that's fair. Take the one where you can get it, right? Hey, y'all. It's Drake Lionheart. I go by they, he pronouns. Tonight, I will be John Tavik Creighton Vasir Harrison IV, call sign Starblood, formerly pilot of Throne, current pilot of really who the fuck knows at this point. We'll see what happens. It'll be a fun time. And that's me.
All right, and hello, folks. As always, I'm up here doing the GM thing. Jack, he, they. I play everybody else, including this monstrosity behind everybody. Though, at the end of last session, it blinked out of existence or something. So we'll see if we ever see them again. With that, let's jump into a little bit of a recap. But I imagine we're going to be talking quite extensively about what the group has been through the last day or so on this station and their first encounter with the Starcrier. So I will keep it brief, and then I do a 15-minute recap. But I will keep it brief this time. Our Lancers have been sent off to some deep space, far space observatory pointed out in the direction where the Commodore came from. The Commodore being a character who was rescued, taken into custody, diplomatically delivered back to Far Station 12 as a representative of what they're referring to as the Hawkwood Company. Loose coalition of some people, pirates, maybe, who come from far, far out in the diaspora, and they came back inward to the actual Rim Union area with all kinds of stories of planets that have been emptied of population and resources, and wreckage of starship battles with no survivors, no organic matter left. I said maybe a person here or there. All kinds of crazy ghost stories happening from far, far out in the black. So our Lancers were sent over to this far space observatory, pointed out in that direction to get some data, because they got a message. Far Station 12 got a message from this observation station saying that they may have found something, and then it went dark. So we played a little bit of Mothership in our Lancer for the past couple weeks, and I'm going to leave the characters to talk about that, but it got paracausal and weird and creepy, leading to our first Starcrier. There was a nebula, presumably a nebula, far out in that direction that seemed to hollow itself out in the center, and then actually, near instantaneously, there was a piece of that nebula floating around the station. And then once they got out and back into their mechs, it solidified into this, what we see on screen. Actually, let me Let me drop the character art for a second and zoom in on this beauty because there's so much wonderful detail in here. Thank you, Galen. Our first Starcrier, the Herald. In the... I'm sure our Lancers will call it confrontation, conflict, that ensued. Both Athens' Blade 2 and Starblood's throne were destroyed. Grabbed and pierced through, wormed through, crushed and devoured by the tendrils, tentacles, weird organic matter that shot out from this seemingly strange mass of fleshy bits, asteroids, old mechanical pieces, very, very new mechanical pieces, skin and bones and scales. Monstrosity. And we will be picking up almost where we left off, our Lancers burning away in the 3 mechs that they have still available to them, both Athen and Tavik, it's Blacksmith and Starblood, in an emergency sort of attached pod to the back of Epithet. So, now, on the Starcrier Conflict, our camera will pick up, zooming panoramic style through the starfield as it catches up to the backside of these 3 mechs, burning quickly towards the blink gate. It originally took you just about a day or so, give or take an hour here or there, to get from the gate to the station, but you weren't pushing your mechs into the red zone the entire time to do it. I presume with everything that had just happened, that you guys are trying to get out of here as quickly as possible. The last thing you knew is 2 mechs were destroyed, you had to rescue 2 of your fellow pilots, and then whatever this was just created a tear in space-time and blinked out. Something you've never seen before. Presumably, theoretically, maybe if you have any sort of knowledge on what the blink gates actually are, might have something to do with that. But outside of very localized teleportation that some mostly SSC, brand new SSC mechs do, just sort of blinking out of existence doesn't happen. So, it's probably been somewhere closer to 14, 16 hours. The 3 mechs that are still here, you have been pushing their core to the limit. And you are probably running with the rear vents open to dissipate as much heat as you can. And you've been redlining these things. They're not going to explode or anything. But you have been pushing them. And I imagine, even though it's been several hours, it's probably passed in relative silence. Starblood's been unconscious for some of it. I'm not going to have you unconscious for 14 hours because that's brain damage. But I imagine even after waking up, you're probably fairly curled in on yourself.
Yeah. I think the entire trip, even after clearly Tavik wakes up, still completely silent.
I imagine that everybody is, well, between their own introspection and keeping an eye on all of your sensors and mechanisms to make sure this thing doesn't reappear, to make sure you don't push your reactor too far. I imagine you guys are fairly quiet for this. But this gives you an opportunity to practice a maneuver that is not often needed anymore. We are going to do a hot gate door slam maneuver. It is, it's exactly as it says. It's a maneuver for traveling through the blink gates, primarily when you are under attack, under direct attack, or you know you are being pursued by somebody. And the point of the maneuver is to open the gate pretty much as soon as you get there, move through, and close it as quickly as possible. And in doing so, I will need to know the order. There's only 3 of you now, so I will need to know who is at front, that person's going to be responsible for opening the gate. Who is in back, they're going to be the person responsible for closing the gate. And once you get through the gate, because you're not going to stop, you're going to burn as hard as possible, move as quick as possible through the gate. Everyone will need to sort of starburst pattern split 90 degrees as soon as you get through the gate to make sure you don't slam into anybody else waiting in the queue. Or at least that's how the maneuver is trained. So,
Right, go ahead and take first. Get that thing open as quick as you can. Jump through there. Desperado, you're on her tail. I'll follow up.
You sure? You've got cargo.
Yeah, but I've also got real good sensors and one hell of an eye looking in the back to make sure that thing don't pop out.
All right. Fine.
it has been several hours since you've seen this thing, whatever it is. But that doesn't mean it's not still here. Whether it's invisible.
Yeah, it
whether
came
it's
out of
gone.
nowhere the last time too. So
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it is. Even though you don't know you are under direct pursuit, it's probably good thinking to assume that you are, or could come under attack at any time.
I just picture in this cockpit, I've got like a virtual screen thrown up over here for Tavik and another one thrown back here for Athen so that they can look at shit too.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, this is something that you have trained for. But let's get a roll just to see how well you pull it off. Because this is a highly coordinated maneuver from all of you, even though Desperado, you are not in charge of opening or closing the gate, everyone should be moving through the gate pretty much nose to tail with each other. It takes a lot of coordination to do this. So, unless you guys have skill triggers that you would think would be better suited, I'm just going to call for an agility save. Agility check, I should say.
I mean,
Nope.
yeah, I actually do. I have Stay Cool and I have Get Somewhere Quickly. I think either one of those should logically apply.
Yeah, I'll give you a +2 for that.
I would say I have take control and show off, but I don't know how much I'm realistically doing here.
Yeah, you're not in control. You're not behind any of the controls. Yeah, you're stuck in a
My
pod.
boy, you're in a box.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm actually I am picturing that the cockpit layout and the control system in Epithet is completely different than whatever was in Blade. Like, it's just a completely different setup.
Yeah.
Do I get to use my ace acrobatics at this point that I just got at the level up?
Ooh, look at you!
Is
I'm gonna be
that
small and fast.
Is that a mech thing or a pilot skill thing?
What is this?
It's a talent.
Yeah, it's a talent.
It's a talent. It's an agility, right? So technically,
Yeah, I get it.
You should,
I make
yeah.
all agility checks and saves with +1 accuracy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do that.
Do it.
that's the same one I have. You got this.
Oh yeah. Hey, I was gonna say if I'm gonna be in a mech that's like the size of me, I have to be fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh no.
Foundry, why you hate me?
God.
Wait. Why did it roll me?
No, that's from.
I
Oh,
think
that's from
last
before.
week.
I was very confused.
Yeah, that's a week ago. Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
But that's a nat 1.
Do
From
I?
Solitaire
Where's
here.
my-
God.
Oh no.
Oh, we don't love that.
Nope.
Oh
Okay.
god.
Jack does though.
Wait, where do I roll it? There it is. Okay.
Okay. So we're all rolling. This isn't like a team roll. Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're all rolling. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Buddy got a
Buddy
50.
coming through that 6 on the accuracy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. We're rolling because
All right.
fuck Foundry. She
Oh,
doesn't like
yeah,
me.
sure. Mm-hmm.
Cool beans. All right. Agility. I got a 13 on the die.
Yeah,
Can I
then,
push
then
it?
you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Can you push it? Can you push it?
Could I?
Yeah.
That's too late for bolstering.
I mean, you.
Yeah, you can push it.
15.
All right, there you go. Pushing it does make it risky.
Mhm.
So is that? I believe that's complication on a 20, so it's sort of success with complication.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. So burning quickly, still full throttle. This is a max speed maneuver that you are doing. You are not slowing down at all to transition through this blink gate. Now, you guys aren't going the 0.995C that starships are capable of doing. You don't reach nearly that speed, so you don't need to worry about being off by 0.0000001% and smashing the rim of the gate, because it's huge and you guys are tiny in comparison. But we see you almost nose to tail, as much as you can be in space-based distances, which is still probably a few hundred meters. But that is a close distance when we're talking about these speeds in space. We see the three of your mechs burning towards this gate. Bite, you are up front, and the point of this maneuver is to activate the gate at the last second. And this is not Stargate. You don't have to worry about the kawoosh that shoots forward and vaporizes everything. But you do need to make sure you have just enough time for the event horizon of the wormhole to completely engulf the gate. Because it sort of irises from the outside in.
Mhm.
And you need to make sure it has a complete stable connection, or things can go very wrong. But you rolled quite well at a 15, so it's not above a 20. You're not. It's not like right at your nose as you are pushing into it, but it's a fairly good start to the door slam. And it's a tense maneuver, because if you activate it too soon, you might get torn apart by the event horizon, or just go straight through the opening of it and have to turn around. And if you open it too late, well, not as much of a big deal right now, because you aren't actually under attack or apparently under direct pursuit. But you do manage to activate it with only a few seconds before you actually would pass through the event horizon, which is pretty good moving at these speeds. So we see you fly through, and I think our camera is going to do that cool split screen effect where you have the gate here, and we have off your departure on this side and your arrival on this side, and it's just a quick transition because it happens instantaneously. It is paracausal, sort of subspace instantaneous transportation. And you zoom out the other side and immediately do a 90-degree turn upward, sort of skimming the event horizon of this thing and breaking off just enough to avoid the lip of the gate itself. Only a few seconds later, we see Desperado shoot through and 90 degrees down, doing the same thing. Now it is up to Solitaire in Epithet to close the door. We see you scramble through, and just as you are getting to the gate, your sensors detect something massive directly behind you. And I mean directly behind you, a few hundred meters. Again, not far off from the distance that you were to everybody else. And when I say massive, I mean a size 6 Herald Starcrier. You slam through the event horizon of this gate 90 degrees to one side and jam the door closed. You immediately send that signal through, and the gate dissipates. You can't confirm how close the Herald was, if it was even in pursuit, if it was planning to go through the gate. But it was there, saying goodbye as you left.
Hey, Solitaire.
Yeah.
Good work. I think I may have just shit myself from that one, though. That was too fucking close.
Holy shit. And immediately going to try to open comms with the transport ship.
Very good. Lancer team, we are reading you. We are a few hours out, just outside of active sensor distance. Maintain station keeping. We'll be with you shortly.
Copy. Put a little grease on that if you can.
We will make best time, but we were ordered to keep our distance. So you have a little bit of time. Still stuck in your mech, still just floating there. Fortunately, there was no reason for the starburst maneuver just as you exited the gate. There's nobody waiting in the queue. There's nobody here. And you're at a far station, a very distant rim of Union space. You don't see a lot of traffic. It's not a core gate that always has somebody, in the queue. But you do know, and obviously your transport just confirmed, that they were ordered to keep out of sensor distance of the gate. Now, it's only been 3 days or so, day to the station. You were there for a couple hours, day back. So less than 3 days, really. The transport makes good time getting to you, though I'm sure it feels longer than it actually was. Stuck in your mechs, or stuck in this little locker, the two of you crammed into this space, playing over those events. The events in the station itself, the paracausal oddity that was the director's timeline. Stacy, the Herald, losing your mechs, and for some of you, a memory that you are only just now starting to question whether that's actually how it happened or not. But you can shave a little time off this weight as well by burning towards them. So we'll say an hour and a half or so goes by, and they can scoop you up into the cargo bay, fold your mechs up for transport, and I will leave it to you.
What the fuck was that?
Desperado, you beat me to it because I was about to ask the same fucking thing. I mean, that thing tore the blade 2 and thrown apart like it was freaking nothing.
It started to take over the throne. Like it was going to wear it as a suit.
I'm more worried about the fact that if it showed up at the gate the last second like that, it could have shown up at any point in the fucking 16 hours that we were going.
Yeah. Did we even hurt the fucking thing?
I got one of the nodes. One of them. Eventually.
I mean, I feel like I got one too, but honestly, things kind of got a little fuzzy there for a second. It was fucking with my mind.
What do you mean?
I don't really know how else to explain it, but something I remember doesn't seem to be matching up with what I remember.
Well, you're not alone in that.
Okay, then I'm gonna need you two to elaborate.
It played with my memories. At this time, is it like, am I still remembering what I saw then versus what I actually know?
At the moment, and again, it's not as if everything stopped in time and you were cast back. It was simply you have this new memory. Why it was brought up in your mind, you're not entirely sure. But it wasn't like, I mean, it was like you... See, it's strange. It's hard exactly to really identify it, because in some aspects it feels like you relived that moment, and then at some aspects it feels like it's just a memory. But still currently, as far as you know, you shot Storm. But wait, no, you remember talking to him later. You have memories of him after that, so that can't be right. Same with you, Shiv.
Let me try to explain it this way. It put a memory into my head, and I would see it clearly, but it doesn't make sense going onward. Like, I mean, my mentor, he's the head of the circle of blades. Storm, right? I remember this moment not long after I joined up. I was like maybe 16. And he was teaching me how to shoot. I wasn't gonna be facing combat, but I was the one that was having to take care of a lot of the guns, stuff like that back then. But he was teaching me how to shoot. I remember in the moment hitting some junk. I don't even remember what it is necessarily. But then whatever that thing did, I hit him.
So like it implanted a false memory, or more like an altered version of a real one.
I'm gonna have to, as soon as we get back to the station, I gotta make a call. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even know what's real right now.
So ever since this whole thing started, when Tavik and I ran into that Oracle fella, this is the kind of thing, because that's what it felt like when I had all those visions running through my head, and they would pop up. It was like I remembered them, like I was there. I couldn't possibly be, but it felt real.
Tavik.
No response.
Do I slap him in the face? Do I do it?
I mean, did any part of it feel good? Like were any of the things that it showed you, or was any of it positive?
No. For me.
But when you came back to reality during that fight, again, it wasn't exactly like you weren't in reality the entire time. But you do remember feeling consoled, encouraged, accepted by the Herald. That can't be right. It was trying to destroy you. You were firing weapons at it. The memory did not feel good. But the Starcrier, you wouldn't know it as a Starcrier. You probably wouldn't even know it as the Herald, except there's been some correlation drawn with previous dialogue. But the Herald felt like it understood you, and that it was there for you.
Jack, can you remind me of the line that Stacy used with Shiv?
Oh boy, which time?
Although,
Something about will you cry before the Herald arrives?
What?
Something like that. It was something that
Hold
was
on.
said in the
What?
tube.
hold
You
on.
shall
I
hear
have
the
to-
herald's call before this body is destroyed.
That was one.
Yeah.
That was one of them. It wasn't the one that I'm thinking of. I'll have to go back for it. It seems important.
It's reasonable that some of those things are a little fuzzy right now.
Yeah. Yeah, ship's gonna rack their brain about it for a long time.
I can tell you that it's almost as though it was wanting to accept me afterwards. And quite frankly, it doesn't make any sense. I wanted to tear that thing apart. There's that small part of me that didn't want to.
So I suppose I'm just kind of spitballing here. Look, I don't know how intelligent that thing actually is, or whatever, but that's kind of besides the point. I've been going over all this data that we gathered and all, and what we saw, and this thing looks like some kind of organic, I don't know, swarm, mass, whatever. But it's obviously, I mean, we saw what it did to Throne and Blade 2. It drew them in and it assimilated them. Just like it did to whatever other starships and such were in there in that mass of God knows what. Maybe that's part of its deal. If it, think of it like a plant. Okay, plants, they emit different scents and things like this to draw things in, to make the plant feel more welcoming to insects and such, and then it eats them.
The organic matter read as DNA, right?
Here it is human DNA, which some of it,
human?
but I don't know if maybe that just means that whatever the actual base thing is, I think maybe it basically ate a whole bunch of people and made them part of it.
Maybe that's what it does.
Can we take 2 steps back real quick? Just for a second. There's fucking alien life out there. Like, I know that we got the NHPs, and let's be honest, I don't think anybody can explain their fucking deal. Right? I didn't think there was other shit out there.
I mean, we don't know that it's living. For all we know, it's just code in machine that's puppeting flesh. That's worse.
Right? It tried to fucking eat me.
No, I don't think that it wasn't dead flesh. I mean, that was alive and moving with a purpose.
Specifically you?
When I latched onto Throne, it was doing everything it could to get to me. Tavik, you can verify, right?
So
Maybe
it's
it likes the tasty
Yes.
bits.
So it's
It was.
specifically going for organic matter.
The commander's gonna need to know about this.
Yeah, this is going to be one hell of a report to write.
Yeah.
God, we're so getting assassinated.
Tavik.
Yeah.
August experienced things, saw things. Before this, were you seeing things as well?
I don't know. But I'm going to find out.
Go freshen up. I think go change your pants.
Yeah, I think I just need to lay down. Process this for a bit, so I'm gonna find a couch here.
Is there a place to like shower or bathe or something?
Yes, yeah. You guys did have actual quarters on here because you weren't required to go into stasis. So you guys do have your own quarters. They have rudimentary facilities.
I don't know about nobody else, but Logan's gonna be having a good old shower. Just gonna go till the water's cold.
Yeah, I think this whole conversation Shiv's been quietly like scratching at their hard suit where there's like flecks of blood dried from where the director had been shot right in front of them.
Mm-hmm. Several times.
Yeah.
Many
times.
Many.
I mean, there's also a bit of Tavik's blood on there too from when he bled all over them, so
Yeah.
a little bit of a massacre. And they'll just quietly walk away.
I think Tavik is going to take the hottest shower he possibly can. And then, barring anyone forcing their way in or otherwise giving very good reason, don't think he's going to be leaving his quarters for the duration of the trip, except for when he has to go get some level of nutrient. But I would even argue that maybe he has like nutrient bars in his quarters already because he had prepared for that. He doesn't eat this food.
Probably not 3.5 months worth, but
Sure.
you can stay in your room for a few days, sure. With everybody.
Well, I was going to say that I would take a moment to freshen up, but then I would go kind of into the rec area and just immediately, hardest workout ever. Definitely spend a lot of time with like a punching bag and going either until knuckles are bleeding or that thing's broken.
That's next day activity. That's not right
Hmm.
now. Right?
Everyone processes in different ways and different speeds.
Mm-hmm.
But with you guys branching off to deal with yourselves first, I will point out that this was covered in the academy. Small section of a single class that, break glass in case of aliens talk. It's something that has never come up and surely never will come up, but of course Union has protocol for if in case it ever does. And basically it's as what you expected. Contact your commanding officer immediately. Don't talk to anybody. Don't file reports. So
You're so fascinated. Oh my god.
I will leave it to you how long you take to get yourselves ready for that call, but you should contact Commander Leary via a thoroughly secured OmniNet connection as soon as you are able to.
Fucking nose goes, my dudes.
But
Absolutely not.
Do we want to all be there for the
you should
for
all
the
be there.
ripcord protocol? Okay.
Anybody
Yeah.
involved
Best
should
we
be there.
are.
Okay. I would say give it a day. Get that talk out of the way immediately. Get that talk out of the way right now.
So that's
I was going to say an hour.
An hour? God, no. I mean, fucking. Well, no. No, an hour's not gonna cut it.
No way.
There's no-
I don't
there's
think
no way.
anyone's gonna be.
There's,
No.
there's no
Never
way.
take a shower, baby.
Mm-mm.
This shit's
Yeah.
taking 4 hours minimum.
Yeah, that's got to be like the best shower in the world to wash off that level of trauma.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's say Tavix barely vocal, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
so yeah, I
crazy.
would say I would give it at least till next day.
So it sounds like we have a lot of people taking a very long shower. Athen is taking it out on Punching Bag. Anybody else have anything that they're doing, or anyone they want to talk about, or muse to themselves about in the interim?
Solitaire is basically spending, he'll go in, likewise everybody else, he's going to shower to within it, remove several layers of skin probably. And then he's going to spend the time going over data. He's reviewing footage, just probably until he passes out from exhaustion.
What, any data in particular?
I think the first thing he would probably do is pull up video footage from his perspective. Basically just rewatching or reliving what happened. And then after that, of the combat, that basically from the moment they exited the station. I imagine he'd probably go over it a few times, trying to look at it objectively,
It does take
without
you.
the adrenaline.
Well, I will say it does take you several times of going through it, because you find yourself getting caught in that memory. You find yourself getting those adrenaline spikes again. You find yourself, as you are remembering this experience, and you're remembering it very vividly, to the point where you remember, jerking your yoke to this side this quickly when this happens, and you find your hand tenses and you even slightly twitch in that direction, and then you have to get out of your own memory. It's kind of like that myoclonic jerk that you have that sort of snaps you out of your head real quick, and then you realize that your breathing is shallow and that you're flushed, and you haven't been retaining, you haven't been introspectively analyzing, you've just been caught in the moment again. And it takes you several times going through this step by step to really feel like you have any sort of grasp of objectifying the events.
Chris, would you be doing that in like a public space, or would that be like back in your quarters?
In his own quarters.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, definitely not where any random person could just pass through or anything like that. Yeah, I figure after a few times of doing this, he'll start breaking it down into smaller pieces. Watch just this small chunk, to kind of separate and pull back a little bit instead of the whole experience. And, look at this for a little bit, kind of try to analyze what is being seen. Okay, next minute or so of footage, and so on and so forth. Probably at the same time, maybe to try and kind of separate from that a little bit too, he'll start pulling up sensor readings, kind of like the real-time feed of the sensor readings that would have been happening at the same time, and using his data plating to kind of see that stuff, because numbers are great, numbers are calming, numbers are real.
Are they, though? It's
God
not all
damn
the
it,
sensor data makes sense.
Oh,
Time codes
tried it.
are off here or there, sometimes by milliseconds, sometimes by years. The dimensions of this thing keep changing, and in weird places. Like over the course of time, your mech, or at least what is recorded here, you would assume that this thing was just this blob that just kept extending and retracting and whatnot, but it didn't look like it changed shape that drastically, that much, that quickly. But according to these readings, this thing's shape and size and density was all over the place. So you do have numbers. You do have scans. Don't make a lot of sense.
There's definitely a point sometime in that when something gets thrown across the room in frustration. You know, drink container or paperweight, I don't know, something like that.
You do that, and it sort of snaps you out of this once again, and you look at the clock, and you have been in here for a good 18 hours already.
God damn it. I could turn everything off and leave to go find the others.
Anyone else doing anything you'd like to share?
I think Logan, one of the reasons that he remembered that we needed to call the director first was that he was immediately going to call and check on Morgan, and then realized that he couldn't do that. So I think a lot of his time has been spent working on weapons and ideas for new versions of like guns and bullets. So his tablet that he does his drafts on is just full of different things, and is looking into different ways to change what ammo he can have.
Keeping your mind focused on something different, something familiar, something that takes a lot of processing power.
Correct.
I feel that. Well, with that, no matter how in your own heads you may get, you have time to sleep, you have time to get a meal in, while boiled away the top few layers of skin. I will leave it to you guys to gather each other together, have any sort of discussion you would like to have, and make that Omninet call.
I don't think Tavik slept. I think he spent the night hooking the pad up with whatever sort of viewing screen is in his quarters, playing back footage from his suit of the moment when he shot Prophet.
The director.
The Prophet.
Yeah.
The director. The Prophet.
Yeah.
The director.
Said the same thing. You're just saying the same thing.
Very
Yeah.
fair.
Over and over and over and over again.
So is that what we see when we come to get you in the morning?
No, I don't think
Morning.
so. I mean, when you come to get them, he looks clearly a little more disheveled than he ever would. But he took the time to shut it down before opening the door. He's just sort of standing there, still rigid. Is it time?
Yes.
Good. Then we should go.
Let's go, soldier.
How are you faring?
I'm alive. We all are.
Success.
So, before we go in front of the director, or our director.
There's a visible reaction.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
For?
You did what you said you would.
Think what you will of me. I am not a liar.
Never thought you were. But it's good to show appreciation.
Oh.
Especially one that's so hard fought.
He puts a hand out.
Then we'll take it.
And there's a firm handshake.
Now, let's get going. Stay in the back. You look like shit. Let's go walk forward.
When right before we make the call, I'm gonna look over at everybody. Look, I don't know about the rest of you. Like, I feel like we lost, but the mission itself was successful. We did what we were supposed to do.
We did.
We didn't lose.
Yeah. Mainly have to remind myself of that.
Good. Good.
Well,
'Cause
if I may, considering the limited information they sent us in with, I think it is unfair to strictly say we did not lose. Athen is right. In whatever it means, this was successful. Nothing that was lost cannot be regained or rebuilt.
You can only lose if there's actually a competition. There wasn't no competition there. We gained a lot of information. Not all of it makes sense right now.
Oh, well, that's what we got all the scientists and data analysts and the people that are a little bit smarter than us. Not saying, keep in mind, I do say this with the most respect to you, August and Shiv. But they are the people with the multiple PhDs that probably have a better understanding of what we're going to be looking at.
I'm offended you wouldn't add me in that.
You're right. I apologize for that one. Look, I just know how to make shit explode. All right, like.
I'm kidding. I know how to build shit that also goes explode. It's fine. I don't have a PhD. I'm from some backwater. Not even backwater, back dust. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could have had a PhD by now.
Those
All
sound
right.
like a lot of work and very boring.
All right, so who wants to make the call?
Listen, I want to get this done because I have someone else I would like to call after.
I'll push the big red button.
Okay.
Thank you.
By big red button, I mean,
Yeah.
I assume you mean
the
Shiv
the
to-
metaphorical big red button to initiate the call.
tell either Shiv or August to make sure this is a proper secure OmniNet connection.
Yeah, I got it. I'll like do all of the stuff where I'm like setting up this like little Zoom call essentially and make sure everything's good to go. And then I'll just turn the camera away from me. By the way, Shiv showed up to this meeting almost late in sweatpants and with noise canceling headphones on and did not take them off until directly addressed. We are coping in the best way we know how, and it's not going well.
which is not at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Hoping.
I have to remember we're all like a bunch of like mid-20 somethings, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a
Oh, we're
lot.
babies!
We're
This
mid
is-
late 20s and we're just crying inside.
Simpering.
Simpering. SAT
maybe
for the
maybe
win.
you. I'm not simpering right now. There's no simper.
So, yeah, this isn't like a desk with a terminal and a webcam. This is not like a full CIC sort of thing, because this is just a transport ship. But they sort of retrofitted a small room to act as sort of like the Mass Effect 2, 3 conference room that had the big projector and whatnot. There's something like this. So it's not so much turn the camera away, because it's kind of a big camera looking out onto the room, for addressing the entire room.
Shiv knows how to find blind spots.
Yeah, you can stow yourself in a corner somewhere. You are supposed to be there, but you can stow yourself in a corner somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. You confirm that the connection is not being recorded on your side. You confirm that it is a secured OmniNet call, though most OmniNet calls are fairly secure just by the nature of being paracausal. And there is a relatively short time before a holographic projection, life-sized holographic projection of Commander Leary materializes in the room. Once again, fairly average height, slender woman. Long black hair, properly done up in her commander power bun. Well pressed Union administrative suit. Well, Lancers, I assume hearing from you means that the mission is complete?
Yeah. And we were able to successfully complete our primary objective.
You have the observation station's data. Hard
We
forward.
do. We do.
Yes, we do. Jack, is there a name for this particular protocol?
I mean, it's...
Ocean
There probably
aliens.
would be like a string of numbers and letters that I probably should have thought about.
Meh.
But no. Actually, you know what?
The new neighbor protocol.
Right.
Mm.
New
I mean,
neighbor.
that's not a bad colloquialism. What It is a code WXC87U.
WXC or WXE?
Whiskey. I don't know what X is. What is X?
X-ray.
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 Whiskey X-ray
X-ray.
Charlie.
Okay.
87. Uncle? No. What's U?
Uniform.
Uniform. There you go.
Okay.
Hell yeah, Sean.
Sure. It's not what we're calling. Commander. This will be Whiskey X-Ray Charlie 87 uniform.
Stand by. Hologram shuts off.
my God.
The call ends.
Commander went, hold on. What the fuck did I just hear?
Very quietly from their corner where they're like scrunched up.
Straight to the point.
The call does only end for like 10 seconds before request to answer comes through again, and I assume you go through, once again, securing it on their end, on your end. Confirmed. I assume you are taking proper precautions on your end? Q, I think you are muted now.
I sure am. Yes, Commander.
Very good. There was a non-zero chance of this, though it was remote. I assume you have...
In general, or for this mission?
That was what I was
Sorry.
going to ask for clarification on as well.
Yeah.
Both. Presumably, the possibility always exists. But
Ow.
you were confirming...
With all due respect, Commander, that is a non-answer.
Yes, it is.
Noted.
But you were sent to retrieve evidence corroborating stories of large swaths of space having very unusual recorded violent activity over a space and time that would require either far superior technologies or far superior numbers. We will analyze the data that we had, and we will analyze the data that you have recovered when we get back to station. Sadly, that will be in a couple years at this point. For now, I presume you have familiarized yourself with the protocol. There is to be no contact with anybody outside this ship. Going forward, including myself, once we are done with this call, you are not to make any others. Do not speak with any of the personnel on the transport. Any initial reports that you may have filed, I want you to erase. Not the data itself, but any personal reports from your perspective, I would like erased. Any data retrieved, including that from the station, and any sensor data from your mechs, I want you to pull the black boxes, take them with you, and enter stasis immediately. You will be properly evaluated once you are back on station. Is that understood?
Unclear, Commander.
Can you deliver a message?
Potentially.
Naval Lieutenant Morgan Troy. Just let him know that I will be home soon.
I will do what I can.
Logan's leaving again? No. Get around for this bullshit.
Okay. If Logan turns and walks away, that breaks the seal on the meeting. Commander doesn't even, say dismissed or end call or good luck or good job. Just as soon as the door opens, call closes. You have your orders.
Guess time for a nap.
So it would appear.
We don't dream in stasis, yeah?
You shouldn't.
I don't like the way you phrase that.
Love
Didn't
that
like
answer
that.
so much.
Didn't like that.
Perfect.
Nope. Mm-mm. Nope.
Live safe in the world lore of you don't. It's gonna be like, cool.
I'm gonna look over at Tavik before we have to go under. I guess it's, one good thing about us losing our mechs, less work to do before the nap.
Yes, I suppose so.
I'm gonna go eat the last of my strawberry ice cream. See you on the other side.
Yep.
Havoc's gonna sort of linger in that room for a bit, sort of staring at the wall. And then he's gonna reach up. He's gonna pat the pocket again,
There's nothing there.
and then he's. Wait, you say there's nothing in there?
No, there's nothing there.
And then he's gonna start patting all of his pockets.
You realize, and feel free to stop me on this, you realize your jaw hurts.
Oh no, I hate that.
He's gonna sort of flex his jaw a bit.
You flex your jaw, you press against your cheek, you rub your tongue over
Yeah.
the back view. It's definitely a tooth there that wasn't there before.
Is it?
Pushed some of your original ones slightly askew. It's that tooth that's just past your kind of like second incisor, just before they're actually proper molars.
He's gonna go in and see if it's loose or wiggle it, see if he can remove it.
Those are two different questions.
Well, he's checking if it is loose at all.
It is not. As to
me
whether
give
it
it a
can
light.
be removed or not, it certainly can. The Prophet did it just fine. Or the Oracle, I should say, did it just fine.
He's gonna take a moment and sort of look around. And if there's no one around, I'm gonna try to pull it out.
Okay. I think our camera is going to pull out of the room here, and the door is going to zoom down the hall, sort of slide past Shiv pulling out a carton of strawberry ice cream. Anyone else doing anything before actually following their orders of getting in stasis immediately?
I don't think so.
No, I'm going to sleep.
All right. Well, you do have to pull your black boxes. I assume you do so.
Yeah.
Solitaire, you would know, even though I forgot to explicitly state it. You should also remove Kitsune's casket and take it with you into stasis.
Yeah, I figured.
Because they are technically a person. Technically a non-human person, but a person.
It's an entity.
Yeah.
So's the Herald.
So, a short time later, you can gather in the ship's stasis bay, lay yourself down, get everything properly put in. You can do this on your own. It's a bit more of a process to do it on your own, but you can do it on your own. You lay down, the lid closes. There's a short hissing of whatever it is that puts you out and keeps you suspended, and then you wake up. You're all in a very sterile looking, let's call it a hospital room. Still No, you're not in your pods anymore. You are on beds. You are in the same room together. You are in hospital gowns. You are hooked up to every conceivable medical machine possible. And there is nobody in the room but you. And there is no extraneous other things in the room but the medical equipment. The walls are painted stark white. There's no paintings, there's no flower pots. There is a door, but there is no control panel on this side. But you all come to.
I swear, if I wake up this way after every goddamn mission, I'm retiring.
Do Lancers retire, or do we just die? Didn't like the silence. Everyone
Well-
pretend I didn't say it. Hmm?
All the good ones are able to retire. That's my plan.
All of the big ones die before they do.
Was I left in the bed with my prosthetic, or is it like over to the side?
That is a good point. Your prosthetic is on. However, checking it, as it was one of the first things you thought about, it does look like it has been taken off, thoroughly cleaned, and reattached. As to what else they did with it, it was probably examined as thoroughly as the rest of it was.
Sure. I ask that because I don't think Logan wakes up incredibly well when he realizes he's in a hospital bed. Because the last time he had to do that is when he didn't have the leg that's supposed to be there. So I think there's a moment where he sort of jumps up, finds a wall, and then actually takes a second to look around and see that it's these four. But the eyes are big, and he's definitely tense and ready to fight.
I think I've been awake long enough to have anyone looking at me like that. You all right over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, cool.
Now, when you say you jumped up and got a wall, I assume you just, you're touching the wall behind you, because you are attached to things. Do you, rip your connections off and run to the other side of the room, or are you...
If there's a wall behind me, it's just quick, get something to my back.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's a quick safety thing. If that means that things come out, RIP. But yeah, this was not a logical thing.
Yeah.
This was a quick, sort of primal reaction. Sorry. I'm good.
No. We're for sure gonna believe that. You're good.
Tavik is going to tongue that spot in their mouth.
Hate that.
What are you looking for?
What may or may not be there, or should not be there.
Seems normal.
Hate that so much.
And then he goes like this, quickly realizing there's nothing there, and then puts his hand back down almost before it makes contact.
No, there's definitely something there. Well, actually, no.
Well, because I'm in the
because
hospital
you're in a
gown,
hospital
right?
gown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to say, oh shit, now it's in.
Yeah,
my
that would have
flesh.
been a problem. No, sorry.
That would have been real
Yeah.
different.
Go ahead and get my nipple.
They made you a pacemaker with your teeth.
Oh,
My toofies.
No, you're right. It was definitely not there.
yeah, just that moment of, and then he stops. And then he sort of looks over at Desperado. And he goes, I assume we're back on the station, or at least nearby, but you're safe.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Well,
I'm gonna try
as safe as
to
we ever are.
tap into the local network with my data plating.
You cannot connect.
God damn. Well, cut off from the net.
That's boring.
Havoc reaches up and like taps at their temple, assuming the same is true. Yes, well, that makes sense. Assuming the protocols. I don't know how long we have been or will be in here.
Are you kidding?
This protocol is bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, they
What?
better drug my ass if they're keeping us here for longer than like 6 hours. I'm gonna become insufferable.
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, Shiv,
Yeah.
I know this shit sucks, but when we're done, burgers on me.
Oh, okay.
Just
That's
let's get bad. Just think of that.
okay. Is now a bad time to mention that I hate needles? Do you think they'll mind if I take it out?
I think they'll probably they might.
I would avoid looking at your arms
Oh yeah.
for the
no,
duration of your stay.
I'm
So,
staring at the ceiling.
You don't have any IVs or anything. You don't have any needles in or out of you.
Like-
If you investigate yourself, you do have they've taken samples from many places of many things, but you don't have an IV or anything. You don't have any needles in you. Most of them are just like sticky sensors and whatnot all over your body. You got the finger
Yeah,
flare.
Shiv hasn't like looked down at their arms just in case, because they're like, no.
Would you like me to check?
Yeah.
And at first, Tavik goes to get up, and then sort of rolls their eyes, sits back down, and is just sort of gonna cursory glance. Oh, from what I can see from here, and assuming it's no different than my own, you should be fine.
Okay.
This looks more like
Cool.
monitoring equipment than anything.
Which again makes sense. I'm sure they've taken any samples they need. No point in waking us up first.
Then why are we awake now? If they're not gonna like let us go, why are we? What are we?
They may have questions for us.
Okay, can y'all roll out the welcome mat any fucking time now?
Getting loud isn't going to help anything.
If I
Makes
throw
me
feel
something
feel
at somebody,
better.
See if we
I mean,
can't
it
grab
helps
some
out.
attention.
Helps me.
I'm pretty sure if I start throwing things, people tend to come. We're probably being monitored.
Yes,
Start taking off monitoring stuff. Just disconnecting himself from all the stuff.
none of that is going to help.
Quite a few annoying beeps coming from the nearby machines.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be all like sticky from the glue.
Oh, yes, it's going to be miserable to get off.
Oh.
Believe me, I've spent far more of my time than I'd like on similar machines.
That's a weird thing to say without context. Explain yourself.
I'm not sure there's much to explain. I am a fourth generation genetic clone. There's much that has to be kept track of for at least the first few formative years of my woken existence.
Hold up, you're a clone?
I'm sorry, is any of this news?
I just didn't
Yeah.
realize that. I mean, not many of
Yeah.
us are. I'm not following the line of succession with fucking Harrison.
Yeah, pretty sure you never brought up the whole being a clone thing before. Not that it matters, but
No, I didn't see the point. Most people are aware. It's not a secret we keep.
Hmm.
They keep. It's just how the line works.
So, are you just out here trying to be a real boy?
hold on. Come on now. That's
Glad you're feeling better.
I'm sorry. That was me lashing out. I'm uncomfortable and I'm upset.
Yes, well, unsurprisingly, you're not the only one who is.
True. Some of us just respond differently to it. But I do apologize. That was
I
uncomfortable.
appreciate that. Self-control is a difficult thing to get a grip on, but I trust you'll get there.
Probably
So
not.
wait, when I call you Silver Spoon, would it be more accurate to call you Silver Syringe?
Somehow, I am astonished with how much worse this day has gotten.
Was that one worse than what I said?
I mean, it's
y'all
probably
are
worse because
terrible.
I thought about it before I opened my mouth about it. So,
Well, at least you've done something new today, then.
wow, way to go, Spoon!
Tavik's
We've only-
back, everybody, and I'm just gonna start clapping.
We've only just woken up. The day's still young.
God, if we're stuck in the same room like this for the next like who knows how long, we're gonna kill each other, aren't we?
One can
No,
only hope.
I think we're just gonna kill Tavik.
Well, the last time you tried, it didn't go very well, did it?
Yeah, it's been a couple years since then, though.
And yet, so little improvement.
You know,
Would anyone put down money with me about them starting a fist fight? Are either of you down?
No,
It's rigged odds. I mean,
I'm just gonna
but-
throw my leg at one of them.
Tavik, I was gonna give you, like some kudos for saving my ass out there, but you make it so hard to be grateful.
Well,
If you could just remove your head from your ass for 5 minutes, one of these days, that would be appreciated. You're not invited to the burgers anymore.
I'm sorry if you were under the misconception that I would be joining you for burgers, but please do understand that even with my head lodged firmly up my ass, I still somehow managed to be twice as efficient and effective as you on the field and saved your life in the process. So you're welcome. And at any point, if you would like to be reminded of how little progress you've made in the last few years, you are welcome to do so.
Hey, does anybody think we can rig up these medical devices to play video games?
Probably.
100%.
Yeah,
Let's be very clear. You weren't shiny and perfect yourself there, Tavik.
No.
Okay, you're all pretty princesses. Can we just...
No, I'm not just this time, Shiv. Because there was a pretty big moment, yeah? We were all there for.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel as though it should be addressed. Do you know which moment I'm referring to, right?
What I know is that I took the time to try and offer you some semblance of sympathy and or peace, and your response was to lash out, and now that I'm not taking it laying down, you've decided this is the opportune moment to continue to push. So you will excuse me if I made the mistake of considering for even a moment that there could be some semblance of civilized conversation between us, but no, I don't think now is the right time.
We barb at each other all of the time. You were the one that got incredibly defensive about it. And then you lashed out, and we lashed back.
I feel it necessary to remind you, Uhura, that you may trade barbs with your friends as often as you like, but I do not understand why you would think, why any of you, except perhaps Athen, because of the lack of comprehension, why any of you would think that I have any interest in jovially trading japes with you. It is not one of my preferred pastimes, and you're right, perhaps we do have things to address, and perhaps it is worth noting that yes, I had a moment of weakness, to be gentle about it. And your desire to engage in... You know what? It doesn't matter. It makes no difference. We're here, like it or not.
There was more than one. And until you address it, it's going to keep happening.
I'm not the only one, he says, and then looks past you at the wall that you are backed up against. Are we done?
I guess so.
Good.
Hey Jack, could I take one of the machines monitoring me, particularly probably the one monitoring my heart rate, which is currently elevated to an anxious level? Can I just pull that into my my fucking bed and start dismantling it?
I mean, these are like whole machines.
Oh, whole screens?
Not screens, but just
Whole
there's a lot.
machines?
There's a lot of machines here. There's a lot of monitoring
Oh,
equipment.
Hey,
It's
hey,
not like
August?
modern day technology where it's like a cart with a box on it. It's everything's integrated like into the wall, basically.
Oh, incredible. We're tracing some wires back. She was looking for literally anything to do.
August, do you think you could run Doom on that?
Yes.
You can run that on anything, man.
But can it
The
run
one
Crisis?
thing that persists.
Yeah, I was gonna say I deeply appreciate that that's the one.
That's the one thing that's
one
still
reference to
around.
real life we can get away with because
No
it's gonna happen
idea
forever.
where it came from whatsoever. Just
If you don't think Shiv has actively tried to put Doom on every one of our mechs, you're wrong.
Rediscovered Doom in one of the strange paracausal meta vaults somewhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is a cultural icon. It has to be preserved.
Shiv's doing so. I don't have outward access through because I currently have data plating for this mission as well. I don't have any outward access, but is there anything I can do to like hook into these machines and start fucking with things?
You would have to, not without getting destructive to the wall. There.
They
The
don't have any
machines
kind of
are-
data ports or anything like that.
No. No, they don't have it. Data port. No. Presumably, all of this monitoring equipment, on the other side of the wall is connected to something.
Yeah. All right. Well then, during this whole conversation, Shiv gets like the heart rate picks up, and they turn first to go try to like do something with that, figure out that that's not gonna work, and they're just gonna unhook like August did, and then just start pacing the room, looking for anything to do.
Yeah, there's not much to do.
No. Is there a door? Is there a window? Is there
There is no window.
other than like our beds? Is there anything?
There is a door. It is closed. There's no control panel on this side. Other than that, it is your 5 like hospital cots and the wall of machines.
Is there a nurse call?
No.
Damn it.
If I make multiple laps of this room and don't find anything, Shiv, like a misbehaving puppy, will start wrecking the wall.
How?
I don't know.
Well,
Is
while you
it-
think
'cause
about
if it's-
that,
If it's drywall, I can just punch that shit, but
It's
I guess
not
this is
drywall.
a space station.
If I may.
Yeah.
When it becomes apparent that Shiv is looking to cause mischief, when the pacing stops, Havoc will look over at them and just go, odds are, the longer you spend unhooked, the longer they're going to want to keep you once they hook you back up. If you want out, you have a better chance letting these things run their course.
Or eventually they'll get annoyed with all the notifications that they're getting on their end saying that we are unhooked, and they will come in and yell at us and we can ask some questions.
And they're going to tell you the same thing the commander did. Nothing. And they will have wasted your time, and you will have wasted your time.
Well,
but
it's
at least
better
I'll
than
be
sitting
able to,
here listening to y'all kvetch at each other like a bunch of old goddamn housewives or something.
Oh
I was
my
under the
god.
impression we were
at
finished
least
with that.
demand a coloring book or something, you know? But there's currently
August.
Deck of cards, something.
August.
Yes.
Are we not supposed to talk about things? Are we just supposed to let those rot? Just
What do
let
you
them
want?
fester and rot? Or do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, there's
What
probably
else is there to talk about? We need more information.
Well, nothing now, but you're bitching about us talking.
No, I'm bitching about y'all arguing. That wasn't talking.
It was talking.
Well,
Somewhat receptive.
me not so
Sort
much.
of talking.
I will fully admit.
We don't get to the talking until this resolves itself.
Let me just
We
say
find
this.
ourselves in agreement.
Oh, dude, hold that.
He was agreeing.
Which is nice. It's fantastic. But if you want to come to some kind of place of understanding and all this kind of, maybe dogging on him for being a clone ain't the best way to go about it.
That was a joke.
I know.
and
It was a
apologize.
joke. It was a joke. I get it. But it's a thing, man.
And I apologized immediately afterwards. My grievances were not with him being a clone.
I'm aware.
Okay.
The Saints may be a little insensitive.
Look, he's very clearly his
August.
own asshole.
Listen, if you want to fight, we can fight about it. But I've already apologized. And you, Athen, get a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I don't care. Stop talking about people's asses. It's weird. It's
Okay,
weird,
well,
man.
look, not all of us got the boy toy waiting on us, all right?
Okay, well, I mean, that sounds like a you thing. And not
Oh,
a me
it
thing.
absolutely is.
Okay, I mean, listen. No, we're not shitting where we're eating.
Yeah, just wait till we get out of the room. If y'all just.
I'm not doing that. It's fine.
I feel like somebody should have fucking come by now, right?
Somebody. Literally anyone.
I mean, I thought they'd be here like as soon as we woke up for fucking debrief, but
Well, I assume the process of bringing us out of stasis from outside of the pods is not quite as precise as it normally would be inside. So, it's very likely they didn't know exactly when we would be awake. Or that they didn't care because they are still waiting on results.
Shiv is currently taking off the pillowcase.
What pillowcase? Pillowcase.
I don't have a pillowcase. Do I have a sheet or anything that I
Rip
was
open the
sleeping on?
pillow. Have a pillowcase if you rip open the pillow.
Yeah, is there like a sheet or anything?
No. You have a bed that has sort of like an integrated cushion at one end.
Gotcha.
Oh God, I just slept on one of those. They're awful.
Yeah,
They're
awful,
the
yeah.
worst.
Yeah.
And I'm ripping the bottom of my nightgown. We're not like being indecent about anything, but I'm ripping it. And Shiv is very quietly wrapping their knuckles.
August is taking all the little sticky monitor pads and is like turning them into a ball.
There's just two very different coping mechanisms happening here. Everyone gets the vibe in like the aether around them that something's about to happen. It's not
What are
happening
you
yet.
doing?
Nothing?
Hey.
Mm.
No.
I need you to be more specific.
Whatever inane act it is that you are committing to in this moment,
Okay.
I believe Uhura is suggesting to you that it is as bad an idea as it clearly is, and that you shouldn't do it, in the hopes that you will more likely listen to him than to me.
Right, so now that that's done, Shiv,
Mm-hmm.
I need you to not let the chaos win right now.
Well, it's not
Because
chaos.
it is, though. It is chaos with a purpose, but it is still chaos. So, listen. Walk me through what you're doing.
Jack, how long have we been in the room that we've been awake?
However long this conversation is, which I believe has been about half an hour, 45 minutes.
Incredible. Okay. Shiv has chilled, has wrapped their hands, and is just going to sit on the bed. I'm under the impression that we are being observed for obvious reasons, which is great. So they know we're awake. And yet we have not been given the decency of being addressed. If we're not addressed in, say, the next looks at an invisible watch, because they don't got a watch in here, just the whole motion with the
Perfect.
Hi,
wrapped
look at my
hand.
wrist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. Let me just console this. Yeah, no, if we're not addressed in the next, say, I don't know, 30 minutes, I'm going to cause problems because bad attention is still attention. So.
Okay.
This room needs so much damn therapy.
We all joined
You
the
were-
Lancers. How do you
You
think
were
we
just
got
there on our last mission. You were with us when that happened. Of course we fucking need therapy.
I mean, come on. We're Lancers. I think we're emotionally damaged in some way, regardless, right? I mean, normal people don't really want to live like this, and yet here we are.
Nathan, why
Yeah.
did you join?
Which part?
Lancers.
Oh, you mean when I joined Union? Chance to be part of something bigger than myself. Chance to go out, see the galaxy, button the propaganda a little bit. Most probably the mission, but it was this or be a backwater mercenary unit. I mean, I've been piloting mechanized cavalry since I was 18.
What about you, August? What'd you join?
Just means to an end. Suppose you could say. You know, figure spend long enough doing this stuff, maybe find ways that I can help out the places like where I grew up, or at least where I was born. You know, those little colonies and far flung rim civilizations and such that, cradle ain't nothing but a weird word to them.
Logan.
A few reasons. I followed my hero. One of the people that got out, left Dusthaven. And 2, it was so that I could learn some skills more than just being a factory worker. And then when I was done, I would join IPSN and make the changes for planets like mine from the inside. Is that maybe a pipe dream? Sure, but it's worth it to give it a try.
And you, Carrie?
Nuh-uh. We're following a pattern. You next, bud.
I believe the pattern is who's asked next, and you were asked next.
Well, it was my last chance at Omninet connection, so it's this or nothing, really.
How
Can't
vague.
say it's very noble.
How vague.
Simple.
The rest of your squad poured out some of their heart or soul into this, and that's all you have to offer.
Yeah, no one's
And
sharing
you
more
are
than
going
they're
to
comfortable
chide
with.
me.
Well, what about you, Tabby?
Well, if we're letting them off easy, I have more to accomplish than sitting on the temperate throne.
That's a hell of a statement.
Yes, it is. But I assume there will be quite as many questions from the rest of you as there were for Carrie's response, yes?
You know, I will say, I am curious about that. Because my understanding was that most places at least had a couple of places you could get OmniNet connection.
It is strange.
I'm not going to press. Shiv, if you want to talk about it, great. If not, I get it.
She was gonna make a pointed look at Tavik, lift a single eyebrow, and kind of like, I guess he kind of dared me into it, and look around the rest of the room. They don't give you connection at rehabilitation camps. So, not that they give me a whole lot of access here either, but
I mean, it still beats nothing, right?
yeah.
No, I didn't expect you to say something like that, to be perfectly honest, but at the same time, I can see it. I mean, if any one of us is going to cause some chaos and fuck some shit up just because they can, regardless of what, you know, the authorities say. I'm just saying.
Now, August, I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little offended by that one. Come on.
Look, I mean, I know you like to butt heads just as much as anybody, and you're fully willing to put a fist to a face, but I mean, I picture you more getting in bar fights than, you know, I don't know, robbing banks or something.
That's true.
Is that what you think I'm in for?
You know,
Robin Hood?
No, I'm just giving an example.
look,
He's
all
saying
right.
it's within your capabilities, certainly.
Well, look, apparently we got time to kill. All right. New game. We all guess what Shiv did. And then eventually we find out on how close we actually were.
I'm confident that if Carrie was interested in sharing that information, they would. You're from
Also,
a core
yeah.
world, yeah?
See, but the thing is that there's some fun in spinning bullshit.
That's true.
Yeah, it ain't about being right. It's about coming up with the most outrageous bullshit you can.
Okay, everybody gets one shot. One shot.
All right. I'm going to assume that you created a whole network of digital images and you told people they would be valuable and you sold a bunch of fuckers on it.
That happens, implying I'm responsible for it.
Yeah, damn right I am.
That's evil.
Got caught by the government because it would have deregulated everything, despite the fact that money's not really supposed to have any inherent value.
Guess what you guess?
What if in response to some kind of laws or something, regulations, whatever, Shiv went and defaced a government Omninet site with pictures of naked committee members?
Well, now you guys are just giving me ideas. Jeez.
How about you, Logan?
Oh, it's unfair. I already know.
I would
Wait,
like to take a try, if you don't mind.
Oh, this I've got to hear.
Floor is yours.
Okay.
Carrie, you're from a core world, yes?
Yeah.
Well, if we take into consideration where you're from and what that often means, the way you hold yourself, the way you speak and act, it's curious because you don't want to be perceived as anything beyond the chaotic creature you have chosen to present yourself as. You're angry more than anything else. It's usually a cover. It makes sense. I've seen it before with others. You lash out in such specific way. So what were you angry about on a core world? Not enough. Because of excess? You're so hungry for knowledge and technology and to feed into that, and I can't help but wonder if maybe those feelings of insecurity, of not having or being enough, of not being able to be acknowledged or understood or heard or boasted for, led to some level of need to right a perceived wrong. But defacing wouldn't do it. That's not enough. It has to be a stronger statement, and you have to come away with something, don't you? It's not a victory unless you take something, considering you feel you've been slighted. Am I close?
I think you understood the rules of the game here. It's supposed to be for fun, not a full fucking psych profile.
Also, you give motive, but not
The crime.
crime. That's the game.
The game.
So Tavik loses last place.
No. Go on, Silver Spoon. Tell me what I did.
I love that term so much. It makes sense when you think about it.
Hmm.
What did you take? Something bad, because they gave you the option of throwing your life away here or rotting in a can. Whatever it was, it's something that you shouldn't have had. Not just simply because they decided you didn't deserve access, but because no one should. It's the only way it would interest you. Because you don't just want what you feel you deserve, you want what's fair. I wouldn't be foolish enough to assume exactly what it is you took, but whatever it is goes far beyond just your station, your place, your means. I would assume more important even than just information that your world would generally retain. But if I can go a bit further, I think that's exactly what got you caught, too. Too angry, too rash, too desperately in need of proving that you can make that statement and that you deserve the praise and acclaim that should come with it. How have I done?
Shiv's gonna stand up from the bed. Give a couple of pity claps. Congratulations, Silver Spoon. You have perfectly pinpointed the reason why you'll never understand anyone or anything. Because you always think it comes down to the individual. That it's just about them. And she's gonna whip around and she's gonna punch a screen.
Okay, you all hear this excruciatingly loud screech. Everything goes fuzzy and black.
Incredible.
And some undisclosed time later, your eyes flitter open, and you see standing in front of you, as always, Commander Leary, arms folded in front of her, just surveying the room. And we're going to go on a quick break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or so to figure out what's going on, and then proceed from there. So stick around. We got a word from our friends at Veil of the Void, who are kind enough to help me work towards a little bit of an art budget. But quick reminder, if you have the money and are so inclined, if you like the show, if you like these fabulous people, go check out the Mayhem Meter, drop a few bucks in there to give back to these amazing people. And also, if you want to help us work towards some more art, some more music, more writers, whatever it may be, whatever we can do to work with more people in the indie TTRPG community, head over to our Ko-Fi and check that out. But for now, go enjoy a quick little advert about one of my favorite sci-fantasy games, and enjoy some music and some flashing lights. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. The Starcrier Conflict is brought to you in part by Veil the Void Reforged. Pierce the veil and adventure through the void as a vampiric alien, a sentient plant, or even a bottled aspect of the cosmos. These and countless other characters can face off against massive cosmic space worms, demons from the Broken Realms, and even travel through the roots of the newly rediscovered world tree of Yggdrasil. next favorite adventure in Veil the Void Reforged. Visit sdgcreatives.com to learn more and pick up your own copy of Veil the Void Reforged today. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Starcrier Conflict, where, nobody else has shown up. Is this working? Yep, tech gremlins, and there we go.
are
Alright, now
disembodied voices.
now all of everyone's pretty faces have shown up. Alright. Anyway, we're back. We're all back for the continuation of the Starcrier Conflict. It's been a tense first half of the game. Go figure. Traumatize everybody and then leave them in a room silently for an undisclosed amount of time. I was going to time skip a few hours, but they didn't even get an hour in before they turned violent and needed to get knocked out.
No regrets whatsoever.
Yeah.
So-
Just blame all of us. It's fine.
Let's jump back in, then. Your eyes flutter open, pretty much all at the same time, which, is either something very precisely planned or a very unusual coincidence for medically waking a group of people up. But your eyes flutter open, and you are still in this hospital room. You're no longer hooked up to anything. Those who did remain hooked up, you're no longer hooked up to anything. You're still in your gowns. But in front of you now stands Commander Leary. Arms folded in front of her, surveying the room.
Commander?
Solitaire. The rest of you. Get it all out of your system.
Not quite, but we'll get there.
Well, such post-quarantine psychological evaluations usually continue for 24 hours. You made it just over an hour. But, from the readings we have taken, and knowing your psychological profiles already, it doesn't seem any of you have been too terribly adversely affected. Abnormally so. I'm sure you do not want to conduct a proper debriefing in your current attire, but I wanted to stop by and, well, show a familiar face. I will urge you not to discuss any of this with anybody, at least until our debriefing, and very likely not even after that. Your things will be returned to you. Housing has been taken care of. I will get... You will, with your belongings, you will receive an address to your new accommodations. Those of you who returned with your frames, they have been stored in the hangar and are being taken care of. I will give you the rest of the day, of which, according to station time, you have... It's about 6 p.m. or so. I'll give you the rest of the day. Get yourself acclimated as much as you can in that time, and we will debrief tomorrow. Until then, again, say nothing. None of your files or recording devices will be returned to you until debriefing. And yes, you will be monitored. I'm sure you understand that contact with an unknown non-human entity is a serious concern, presuming that is actually what occurred. We'll go over more details tomorrow. that,
Understood, Commander.
she turns and walks out as you were saying that. Not a lot of formality between Lancers and Commander Leary. But the door remains open. It only goes one direction. It takes a quick L turn down a hallway. You see her disappear out of view. Anyone sticking around? Are you all splitting up and heading out?
No.
No.
Fuck no.
Absolutely
Fuck
not.
this place.
Yeah.
All right.
So as we're like getting like back into like our more regular clothes, I'm just gonna look at the group. I'm gonna go to Frank's. Anybody feel like coming?
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
I'll meet you guys there.
I'm probably gonna be there most of the night if I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all.
That's fine. I've got to make a stop first, but I'll meet you
Yeah.
there.
Havoc is
And
going
we
to
said
walk
hi.
off in the midst of this conversation.
So, you get your things, you get changed, you walk off, you walk down the hallway. If there are other doors or hallways in this facility, you don't see them. You simply make an L turn, and you're out. You're somewhere in the Navy ring. Part of a larger complex, it looks like, but it seems this, wherever you were, was, only a small section of whatever this place is. As you exit, you are met with, each of you are met with a pair of soldiers, Navy men, who escort you to your accommodations and tell you to stay there. So, unless anybody has any actual plans of breaking their temporary house arrest to go get a burger, you are muted.
Yes. Fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Actually, Desperado, Logan, you're pair of Navy men, whoever they are, they do inform you that you have a temporary housing set aside for you. However, in your absence, you have been contacted by Stormkirk. Has contacted, leaving a message about a potential residence being up for sale.
Great. I'll follow up on that. I want to reach out to Morgan.
How are you doing that? You get to this accommodation. It is they're not escorting you down to a shuttle to the civilian ring. They are taking you to one of a number of, not necessarily barracks, but Navy ring station housing, basically. Inside there are no communication devices.
Okay. So, in my loadout, I've got data plating.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd like to use that for communication. Okay.
Those have been rendered inoperable. That goes for everybody, because I think everybody has data plating, apparently.
So I'm going to look at the soldiers that are escorting us. So when the commander said that we would get the day, it's the day to just sit on our ass and do nothing.
I have not been informed of your orders. I am simply carrying out my own.
And it's to babysit us, I guess?
If you would like to see it that way.
Cool. How about you babysit us at Frank's?
that does go against my orders.
Can one of you bring me a burger then? Because I am dying for a burger.
Can we get DoorDash?
That can be arranged.
They gotta have DoorDash.
Throw in a beer, you'll be my best friend.
I'm touched. If you need anything else, we will be right outside.
As soon as the door closes, I'm just flipping him the bird.
All right. 15, 20 minutes later, you get a chime on the door. And this stoic-looking Navy, they gotta have I mean, you don't see a rank on them. What do you call a general Navyman?
Sailor.
Navy? Sailor?
Yeah.
In the future, when they're spaceships, I don't know if they're sailors, but a general Navyman, you don't see
Could
you
you
don't see
like
a name
private
sign
or
or
something?
something?
yeah, you don't see a name tag. You don't see a rank. They don't have pips or anything on them, but they are wearing a military uniform. I will just say. But they'll hand you a big greasy bag and a to-go cup.
I get a to-go cup for beer. That's amazing.
Yeah, you did say beer. Yeah, they hand you a bottle. Yeah. Actually, you know what? No, bottles are dangerous. They hand you a to-go cup.
That's the disrespect.
Oh my
The
god.
fucking disrespect. Okay. Are there's only like one way in, one way out of these bitches?
Yeah, you are each escorted to your own separate sort of dorm situation. They are not adjacent to each other. Some of you are not even in the same building. But yeah, there is. You think it's a window, and then you realize it's on the wrong wall, and it is just a sort of view screen playing an image of outside. And then there is the door.
Shiv is gonna burn this fucking place to the ground.
I don't think you understand
Shiv?
first contact Xeno emergency protocols.
Yeah, no, really. Shiv is definitely in this room. And like the weird thing is they're not gonna burn it down. They start to pace. And then they kind of just stop. Was I given my headphones and music? Was I given anything like that? Considering my
I
caliber.
only ask because it's you. Was there anything funky about your music player?
No, it was very standard.
They give it back to you.
Okay. Then yeah, Shiv starts to pace and like starts to feel like that kind of creeping sense of being stuck, and then gets thrown right back into the conversation that they just had, and puts on their noise canceling headphones, cranks it up far past the safety recommendation, and sits down.
All right. Listening to some more Desert Apes, full blast.
Always. It's super out of date at this point. Oh, they probably have new music now. Oh my god, that's crazy.
Well,
Imagine. I was just going to say, imagine a very similar conversation happened between August and his pair of guards there, and after some well-placed cursing and such, while pacing around looking for anything inside of this austere little domicile, he would probably end up exercising for quite a bit, and then just dropping onto the ground in a like lotus kind of position, and probably spending like at least an hour there trying to order things in his mind and meditate before finally just saying fuck it and going to sleep.
all right.
Assuming, assuming that they have taken the entirety of the data pad
Yes.
that Havoc usually has. Yeah. Preventing them from being able to do the same thing they had been doing prior to going into stasis. I think very similarly, Havoc spends most of their evening exercising, working out, training, until just sort of almost uncharacteristically sort of flopping onto their, what I assume is a very uncomfortable, hard bed, and is probably going to spend most, if not the entire night, thinking back on both the engagement between everyone, and surprisingly, to a lesser extent, everything that happened before they got back. There's a lot of focus on this moment of what in his mind was started as an attempt to be somewhat sociable and agreeable. Well, reminded once more what that gets them.
All right. You're all left to your own devices for the next more than even 12 hours. It's probably not until 10 a.m. the next day that you will get a chime on your doors and be told politely to gather your things and report to Commander Leary. And by report to, I mean be escorted to, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't really have a choice in the matter, so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you are brought to Commander Leary's office. Again, a rather spacious sort of circular room. It's located at the top of the station. Let me actually get you guys out of the hospital room here, and let's see. That's the Far Station Observatory. Where's my station? Where's FS-12? There you are. It's the hangar bay, and there we go. Yeah, so Commander Leary's office is sort of spacious, not terribly large, but spacious round room. A few potted plants over here, a little bit of golden gilding here or there. And it does have like almost half the wall in a near like quarter sphere sort of way is a window out into the stars. Of course, they are spinning because the station requires centrifugal gravitational force. But you're all used to that. You're escorted into this large room. The Navy men stay outside. I will wait for Q to hopefully return on us, unless he just blinked out of existence like the start. There we go.
There he
All
goes.
right.
He's back.
We got him.
Everyone in the audience say hello to Craig and thank him for recording our individual audio for our podcast.
Thank you, Craig.
All right. You are all standing in front of Commander Leary's desk. She is sort of propped up on top of it, half sitting, sort of legs crossed, very informal style. Her hair's not in the commander power bun anymore. It's just sort of down flat. I'm sure that was not the evening you desired, coming back from your ordeal, so I apologize and thank you for not causing any complications. I wanted to give you some time away from each other But we do need to have a conversation about what has happened. So, I would like to leave this to you all. Consider this your debriefing from your perspective. Include as much as you can. These reports will not be digitally filed.
Well, we were on approach to the station. You could see signs that there had been damage done, most notably to the data array system. But nothing indicating some sort of full-scale attack or anything like that. Did some, some scanner sweeps and such. There was some weird pockets inside the station that didn't appear to have power or anything of that nature. And we weren't getting any communications. So we, decided to go inside and have a look, see what was going on. Managed to breach one of the airlocks. And it appeared that the station NHP was off a little bit. And by off, I mean it was. How would you describe that? Absolutely flipping out.
Losing its semblance of a mind. I don't know.
You are the NHP expert of the group, Solitaire.
Yeah, I mean, I would liken it to someone having a massive schizophrenic breakdown, to be perfectly honest. I know it's not a perfect analogy, given the differences between human psychology and NHP psychology, but it could have been. That's probably the most likely thing, but at the same time, I don't know how long it had been going on. It looked like the station command had somehow had basically cut their NHP out of control of most of the station by the time we arrived. So it's likely that whatever was going on had been going on for quite a while, or at least long enough for them to react in that way.
Well, Shiv's suit telemetry, or she wouldn't say Shiv, she would say Bite. Bite suit telemetry and your attached data plating logs did record some interaction with this station command interface. We have been looking over that data. However, I can assume, since it was not with you, that the NHP's core casket was not retrieved.
No.
Circumstances didn't permit anything of that nature. So we started looking around a bit, and I guess I got a little bit distracted, so maybe someone else should tell the next part.
We did note that in the various suit logs that were retained. Do you have any retention of whatever that episode was?
It was the visions that the Oracle stuck in my head.
I'm gonna pause real quick. Did you mention those? I believe you did.
Yeah.
Last time. Yeah. Cool.
Yep. We found in a laboratory space some kind of containment device, and it held a gas of some kind that I know it don't sound possible, but it was like standing 2 feet away from a nebula. And whatever was in that tube triggered some pretty significant recall of what I've been seeing.
That does sound like it's more than simply something stuck in your head.
Oh, it gets better. The time I woke up, some other stuff had been going on.
Perhaps, yes, somebody else should pick up at this point. I have, and many others have already reviewed the data you brought back. Scans from your suit, audio, visual recordings, black boxes. But it is good to hear from your own perspectives.
So then you know that we encountered somebody still living on the space station.
Yes.
In the first interaction, he was injured. We assumed something had happened on the station, but he wasn't compliant with requests to stop or communicate. We tried to follow him, but he disappeared. We went searching, but we couldn't find him. It was at that point that we decided to split our forces. Blacksmith was going to stay with Solitaire to keep an eye on him while he was kind of lost. And then the rest of us were going to go complete the mission objectives.
From that point, we separated into 3 teams for a temporary amount of time to allow Blacksmith to keep an eye on what was happening to Solitaire, while Desperado took the opportunity to go and correct some technological malfunctions that had to be repaired in order for us to properly retrieve the data. And Bite and I made our way further into the station, where we once again encountered the same person, at which point they opened fire and I returned fire. And we were both injured.
You forgot the important part. He either was no longer injured or had recovered from an injury
Yes.
we had previously witnessed on him.
When we went to follow him into the room that he retreated to, he was no longer there. There was, however, a message and what was impossibly quickly dried blood, along with the information that Bite needed in order to access the files once everything was restored.
And then
From there, we eventually made our way to obtain the necessary information from the station, but were upon finding each other again, we were accosted by the station commander.
Accosted by.
Yes.
He didn't accost us, he approached.
He physically attacked. Why?
Only after I touched him. Everything he did was reactionary.
Nevertheless, he made action in a way which was perceived as being aggressive, and so I followed my training and assured my colleagues' safety.
Just a slightly excessive amount of gunfire, but the threat was eliminated. Kind of. We saw him again later. And he was alive again.
Recordings from different perspectives at this point are
Contradictory?
distorted. Not even contradictory, distorted.
Damn it. Look, you ever read much in the way of temporal theory and things like that, Commander? The nature of time, etc.
In passing.
So, when you approached the commander's position from one direction, he was quite alive. Injured, but alive. If you approached it from the other direction, he wasn't. He was already dead. It was like, think of it like a ruler with, I don't know, something stuck on it. When you come out from one direction, you're seeing this side of it. Like this was the present here. If you come at it from the other direction, you're seeing the other side of it, like it's a point in time. But if you come back and come this way again, you're still seeing that front side. It doesn't change. It's like it was a fixed point somehow, but it didn't mesh with everything around it. And
I
know,
presume
don't
none
make a
of
whole
you
lot of sense.
are. I presume none of you are all that well versed with paracausality theory technology.
No.
they don't
Only as
exactly
so far as what I
have
know.
those books in the library.
No. In its most simplified form, it is what allows us to communicate over relativistic distances using the OmniNet. However, it is much grander than just that purpose. Upon review, we do believe that you witnessed several, likely linked, paracausal distortions, phenomena. How they manifested is still being looked into, because normally it requires a very dedicated effort in order to manipulate space-time to that degree. But while it may not align with your perception of causality, it is something that, of course, will be noted, but is not terribly cause for personal existential concern. I will leave your report from there. It gets difficult to discuss from this point forward. We are looking into a number of theories as to how events transpired and what may have caused them. We've begun preliminary analysis of the Far Station Observatory's observations. What can you tell me about the encounter outside of the station? From your own perspectives, trying to be as inward looking as possible.
So there was a screen inside, right?
After that,
Connected. Because on that screen was a
stop, Solitaire. Stop. The events outside of the station, from your point of view, with an insular retrospective.
Something bigger than all of our mechs combined showed up. Just appeared. Started to pursue us as we were trying to leave the station. And quite frankly, Commander, it got fucked fast. We were barely able to put a scratch on the thing. And it had ways of getting inside our heads.
Elaborate. That is not recorded information.
Well, I know from my personal experience, it twisted a memory of mine. Changed it. Made me uncomfortable and made it seem appealing. Also had a nasty habit of attempting to assimilate our craft.
Unfortunately,
And
we
then-
are missing telemetry and sensors from Blade 2 and Throne.
And the
Because
best
they-
part is that while we were still inside our mechs, it was trying to pry the damn things open and then get to us. Like canned meat.
Given the opportunity between the restrained target that was thrown and the much smaller, more difficult to obtain target that was Blacksmith, it made the choice to target Blacksmith.
Do you have any reasonable explanation to why?
The entity appeared to be some kind of amalgamous formation of organic material, man-made material that appeared to be from starship hulls, among other things, and naturally occurring rock, stone, that kind of thing. On a scan of the entity,
Let's leave it there, Solitaire.
a significant portion of its DNA appeared to be human. I think it was adding to its bulk.
If something like that gets to an inhabited world, I could only imagine what kind of destruction it would do.
I prefer that you not.
Agreed.
Because it was tearing through us like we were nothing.
Yes, that was an alarmingly lopsided encounter. But you all survived. You all did well to get out of there. And you did complete the primary objective. The loss of the station NHP, the station itself and its personnel, is unfortunate. But this data is proving invaluable. And unfortunately, quite alarming. I presume, because I presume you feel as if you are owed some form of explanation. And I will be honest that I cannot give you a detailed one. But initial findings from the Far Station Observatory's logs do seem to corroborate a number of phenomenon happening across large swaths of space out in the diaspora. That does indicate either a very large force working with a very precise, very high degree of coordination, or or something that does not play by the rules as we understand them.
I would say that's probably a safe bet, considering it just appeared behind us before, like not long afterwards. We were nearly to the blink gate. We barely got through.
Is that what that sensor distortion was?
The
Interesting.
one that tried to take off my foot? Yeah.
And you're suggesting there might be more of them?
I'm making no such suggestions. I would advise, difficult as it may be, not to dwell on these events or speculate any further of imagined possibilities. However, I will acknowledge for your own sanity and, I suppose, compensation for your efforts that we are operating under the assumption that this is some unknown alien life form. To what degree, the extent of which will have to be further investigated, and whether it is being directed in any way will have to be investigated. But at the very least, this is technology that is foreign to what Union understands. And if something like this, or this entity, or others like it, are responsible for these phenomenon, which have been recorded over hundreds of square light years, cubic light years, well, that explains the inward migration back into Union space from out in the diaspora, which we have continued to see in the years since you have been gone, and does seem to corroborate some of what the Commodore and, from your reports, the Oracle were saying. This is putting Union on high alert. We are operating. We will be proceeding as if this is a credible threat. We will not be looking for further confrontation. But, for now, you and a number of the other Lancer Auxiliary Corps will be placed on standby. I'm sure there will be a number of developments in the coming weeks. It is likely this station and many others on the rim of Union space will be seeing more activity. We are not anticipating further hostilities. I would not classify this as a potential spark to war. But it is an unknown that will need to be investigated and protected against. And something that I'm sure you understand would cause a great deal of problems should word of this get out. I would say to the general population, but I will say now to anybody. Union personnel included. Those who need to know already know. Is that understood?
Are they moving forces out to the rim?
I cannot answer that.
Commander, what has been done with the Commodore in the time since?
He has been kept on station.
Noted.
He's proven, well, now that this evidence from the observatory has been collected and seems to corroborate what he has been saying, it does better solidify his standing, but he has provided other opportunities, other contacts, other information. I doubt very much that will be your last contact with this reported Hawkwood company.
Well, fine.
Commander, for all of our sakes, I hope this was a one-off.
I hope so.
And
as well.
I hope that you're preparing in case it's not.
Be foolish not to.
That would be a reasonable assumption. I will tell you, because I do not want this to be an antagonistic relationship. I hope you understand that my hands have been tied to a very restrictive degree as well. You are simply the next down the chain. But there were those who wanted to do a limited cognitive wipe of this entire mission. I fought against that. If the retention of these memories becomes an issue, I may not be able to prevent that in the future. I will also stress that I am not ordering your silence simply for censorship's sake. Trust that there is a reason not to spread this information, and indeed, not to dwell on it.
A reason we don't get to know.
Not at this time.
Feels like home, Commander.
An interesting choice of words.
Is there anything else?
As long as you understand your orders, I can now return you to proper civilian life.
Sitting?
These things take time. Whatever these things are, these things take time. So presume you have that time. You will be informed when you need to be informed. Unfortunately, that is all I have for you.
When and where can I pick up my data pad?
She stands up from where she was sort of half sitting on her desk and walks around, opens a drawer, and pulls out your data pad, Shiv's data pad. Siobhan, before we left, before I asked this question, your data pad, Shiv's data pad, all of little like very necessary hardware that you need for your data plating to work.
Yeah.
Hands all those back. Pretty much any recording device has been handed back. Yeah, completely formatted. Anything you had on there was gone. So I hope you backed it up.
We know I back up everything.
But Siobhan, that was not my question for you. My question was, when we left for this mission a few sessions ago, you said that you took out your problematic hard drive from your computer and brought it with you.
Sure fucking did.
Where was that?
Oh boy.
Was that on your person? Was it stashed somewhere in Buddy?
That's a good question. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it is somewhere physically on Buddy. And it's in a hidden compartment that I think Logan probably helped her install.
Okay. Interesting. Gotcha.
Which we know is the first thing she's going to go check when she's released from this, because, oh my god.
Okay.
Well, not the first thing. She's going to make sure she doesn't have a tail, and then she'll go check it.
All right. Yeah, they hand back any recording devices that you had, completely reformatted. You get back what you need for your data plating to work. Is there anything else before she simply sits down at her desk and waits for you to leave?
If you did discover anything else, would you tell us?
It's usually very difficult to read the commander, and she gives you the most blatant, like, you just asked the stupidest question.
You hear like a scoff from behind you, and Tavik just leaves.
Yeah, she just shoots you a question, like you asked something utterly ridiculous, and goes back to what
Oh,
she
Don't
said.
waste your time. Don't waste your time, Shiv.
No, I want her to say it.
I already have. I have no more information that I can share with you at this moment.
But if you did...
If I could share more information with you, I would. As I said, I have my own orders. My own protocols that have to be followed. I don't want this to be an antagonistic relationship. You are providing a valuable service to us. You are some of the best in our employ, and you are not strictly under my command from a naval perspective. I am not. I can only order you to such a degree. Should you choose to break those orders, depending on the order it is and the infraction, there could be very serious consequences.
I know that, and I know that you're just another step in the ladder. I just... Whatever.
You have, for us, 4 years, for yourself, a matter of days, flipped our understanding of the galaxy on its head. Or at least your own. I hope you can realize that that is a lot to work towards, and will require time and effort to realign those worldviews. The very existence of whatever this is a potential threat. I know that's not a good way of looking at things, but it is. Especially something like this, that was discovered in this way, and encountered for the first time this way. There is follow-up happening. Should not even be telling you that much, but I would assume it is obvious that there is machinations moving forward. I cannot tell you what they are. I only know the barest of them myself. I know some of you more than others don't like being kept out of the loop. I would urge you not to press this. There is nothing else. I do believe you should find your way back to civilian life.
I have one thing.
Desperado.
If we're going to be kept in captivity, you should warn us first.
You've been through training.
You said time to ourselves.
You were given
It was
time to
not
yourselves.
to ourselves, and you know it. He's going to turn and leave.
Commander, you
Blacksmith.
want to... I know you want to talk about orders and everything like that, and before you ordered us to go to sleep, I remember Logan made a request of you. Did you fulfill that request?
I believe that is between myself and Mr. Ahura, who just left. I would treat any such personal request from yourself with the same discretion.
Commander, I would like this to not be an antagonistic relationship as well. But I have to admit, I'm disappointed right now.
That is
I understand that I understand that I am a cog in the machine. I know that. I know how to follow orders. But Logan has somebody waiting here for him, and we are going to make sure that we do everything we can to make sure that he comes back. And to immediately put us under guard with nothing to do sucked. I would suggest, if I may, that you let Logan know if you were able to get a hold of his partner or not.
he will be informed.
Thank you. I want to leave.
Can I assume that Kitsune was returned to my machine?
Kitsune has been returned to the hangar bay.
Thank you.
Shiv's gonna stand there a moment longer. Sorry, we're kind of dramatic.
Lancers tend to be.
I'm putting a lot of trust in you.
Many people do, whether they know it or not. There are many people
Good
who
luck.
put their trust in you, whether you know it or not. Including myself.
I guess we both need the luck. See ya. Leave.
Alright, I think everybody's finally left. Alright. Well, with that, I think, yeah. Everybody finally leaves, one by one. You get that sort of blurred time distortion. And the commander will stand up. Open one of the drawers. Open one of the drawers and take a data pad that she was working on her desk and put it inside. And just before she closes the drawer, you can see, actually, very anachronistically, a manila envelope that simply says Starcrier. Camera zooms out from the station, pivots into the stars, and we fade to black there on tonight's episode of the Starcrier Conflict. We're ending a bit early here tonight, just a little bit early, actually. Only shaving 10-20 minutes off. But like I said, I want to do an extended after show, and I gotta have a meeting with the cast here about things going forward, because there's a lot of cool stuff planned. We just got the titular Starcrier reveal. There is so much more coming for this story, and obviously the characters have been kept out of the loop, but that will very likely change quite quickly. So we're going to leave it here for tonight. I'll leave you with that very vague teaser of things going forward. And, yeah, and as far as the podcast, I'll probably just make this one episode, because I'm weird, lopsided. We'll see what I do. Anyway, go check out the podcast on Spotify, because that's on Spotify. I'm only just finishing up the first half of episode 3, because it takes a long time to do these, and I'm releasing one every other week. So it's not up to date.
It's really good. It's really good, everybody.
But I really cut it down. It's much more of a radio play with these amazing people as cast than just an actual play series. And so we get rid of all the humming and hawing and long pauses and all of that, even most of the actual gameplay stuff. So if you like the gameplay stuff, stick to YouTube, stick to live. But if you just want the story, if you just want the radio play, including some really cool sound effects that I spend a lot of time working on, but I'm very proud of having a lot of fun doing that, including those in. Go check out the again, radio play of the Starcrier podcast, Starcrier Conflict podcast. Yeah. All right. I really did for a lot of this just get to sit back and let you guys go. We're gonna see if we can get to today's episode on our after show talk. We got a lot to talk about the last couple episodes. But for now, stick around for our actual outro, our closing credits. We got a coupon code for Veil the Void up there, and I'll run that advert one more time because I think it's pretty cool, and it's a really awesome game. So go check that out. Yeah, that's in the advert and in our closing credits. Let me throw it back to our cast here to say goodbye and close this out.
Well, hello again, and goodbye. Once more, I am Sean, he, him. Been playing August Walker, also he, him. Man, I'm wrecked.
Oh, this energy.
As far as you, for the next couple of months, pretty much the only place you're going to find me is right here every Sunday for Starcrier. Other than that, I'm kind of dealing with, life stuff that's cuts down my time, unfortunately, to be on channels and games. But yeah, other than that, you can find me on Blue Sky at Rise, R-I-Z-E, or you can find me on Instagram at Raven Black Photography, where I post my photography, cosplay, nature, landscapes, fun stuff like that. Always trying new things and techniques, and especially if you like black and white stuff. I love black and white pictures, so yeah, that's what I got going on.
Nice.
All right. Hey, howdy, bye. I am Haley. I was playing Siobhan Carey tonight. They, them for me, she, they for them. But yeah, no, had a blast. Love wrecking some shit. Love getting to do the crazy things that I'd never do in real life. It's my favorite part of TTRPGs. But yeah, you'll get to catch me here Sundays. But I'll keep teasing it because it's very exciting. But Q and I are working on a project in the background right now that is being edited. It is using the Son of Oak City of Mist system, and we're very excited. So catch us again next week, and I'll spoil the title of the series too. Anyways.
Hi. Okay, not muted. Hell yeah. Hi, I'm Q. I was playing one Logan Uhura, aka Desperado. We're both he, him. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet at Midnight Inc. That's Midnight_INQ. Q is my name. I'm sure you get it. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. I keep making cowboys. We're going to change things up because I have way too much going on. So just what's next is going to be me over on Tuesday at Live from the Apocalypse, where I'm playing Nephilim Tenebris. Where I'm playing a different cowboy, one Mr. Cassidy Star Runner. He's the pilot, he's the hoe, and I love it. Yeah, other than that, there's other stuff. Just come catch me in the next thing to see what I'm doing next.
Oh, I'm used to going way longer than that.
Yeah, we're shortening it.
Yeah.
We're cutting it
Okay,
down.
all right. Hi, I'm
Right size,
Andrew.
baby.
I use he, him pronouns. I've been playing Intermission, also he, him pronouns. We'll do it rapid fire as well. I run a YouTube channel called That Gamer Ajax, where I try to help you be the best tabletop enthusiast that you can be with guides, tips and tricks, stories, trying to teach a wide variety of tabletop games. Coming up on the channel are going to be some guides on 2D20 games, because I love that system a lot. It's a lot of fun, a lot of great things with it. And Daggerheart, because I finally got to play it, and I have thoughts on the game. Other than that, you can find me on all the socials. I'm primarily focused on Threads these days, because that's where I've been having the most fun, at That Gamer Ajax. That Gamer Ajax. I can't talk anymore. My brain is soup.
It's been an episode. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to do it for me, though. So I'm going to throw it over to Lion.
Hey, all, it's Drake Lionheart. Most people call me Lion. I use they, he pronouns, and when I'm not busy playing John Tavik, Creighton Vasier, Harrison IV, or cutting scathing, deep wounding monologues, I am the creative director for Tales from the Table Studios, which started as a charity event, has grown into an actual play studio and an amazing community of storytellers, players, world builders, game designers, and more. We're still working on some stuff behind the scenes. Hopefully I'll have more to tell you soon. In the meantime, you can find me at The Lion Knight 42 on all socials, or at FTT Studios, because Tales from the Table Studios is too long for most socials. What am I going to do? I am more active now on Threads. Find me there. It's great. I am a professional game master. I am a professional storyteller. I write, design, edit games. I also run production. If you're interested in anything, let me know and I will make it work with you. And I'm excited. And that's me.
Excellent. Yeah, just because I feel the need to say it. Thank you guys so much. I know we didn't get to really any of your personal stuff today, but you guys said you wanted time to roleplay, so I gave it to you. So you can only blame
and that was
yourself.
some-
I'm sorry. The exact phrasing in the Discord was free range RP, which I'm still
Yeah.
cackling about because it makes me think of us as chickens.
And this wasn't really
That's
free
why we were
range.
stuck in the little like
So-
room, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
Free
yeah.
range.
Free range.
So I guess I didn't really
know, that-
deliver. But
That's
next week-
really ironic now that we think about it, because we were
Yeah.
like kind of imprisoned a lot of the episode.
Yeah.
So would you say we were cooped up?
Ah,
Hey, let's go.
more puns like that on the after show. Go follow us on Ko-Fi. We got a lot of cool stuff over there. A number of after shows for the Starcrier Conflict, which I've really enjoyed. A lot of great perspectives from all of these fabulous people. A lot of just breaking down the characters and the plot and looking forward, and little extra hints from myself and peeks backstage. So if you want a little peek backstage, go check out the Ko-Fi. There will be more stuff coming up. I'm always behind on getting things up there because I got that. I got the podcast. I got all the prep for this. It's a lot, but I am having so much fun with Starcrier. It is everything I wanted out of this story, and we are still so early on in it. So we're going to go do an after show. Then we're going to have a little bit of a meeting about the mid-season, because we are just approaching the mid-season here. We're probably going to be running this for the rest of the year. This is a long format show, and we got a lot of really cool things coming. And they've all given me so many amazing gifts about their characters, and I'm working with each of them individually, so even they don't know what is coming for everybody else, or really for themselves, because I'm sneaky like that. So lots to come. Go check out Galen. He did all the amazing art here. I can flash that up on screen again as well, because I just adore these characters. And I won't go all into it again, but Ko-Fi, because I love this art, and Galen is amazing. So he's made these, he's made the Starcrier. I would love to get our NPCs made. I really want to get Morgan Troy some character art. I'd really like to get Storm and Stormkirk character art. Commander Leary, of course, needs some art. And I have even more NPCs that should become more prominent in the storyline as we go forward. So I would love to do like an NPC pack of art. We have all of their mechs. Of course, we have them in retrograde form. Fantastic site, free site for creating pixel art characters, not just of mechs, but they do fantasy stuff over there as well. So go check out retrograde. Go check out Lancer. That's all the plugs I have. Go check out Veil the Void and go visit their Twitch over at it's twitch.tv/Veil the Void, but there's underscores between all of those words. It's just easier to say
cool.
like that. Every other Tuesdays sometimes is what it is, but it's a really fun show they have over there, and it's a really fun game. So go check that out. I'm going to leave you there with our closing credits. I think that's all the stuff I need to talk about. I'm going to leave you there. Coupon code RPGs, RPG, no S, just RPG, over at sdgcreatives.com or for Veil the Void, but you can get 10% off with code RPG. And I'll leave you with that advert and our closing credits. Thank you for watching. We will be back next week for more very likely actual free range RP and some slice of life to get these characters out of all the paracausal creepy nonsense before the galaxy starts burning. Good night, folks. Happy time zone, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, keep having fun. Keep checking back here at RPGs Uncovered for more of the Starcrier Conflict. Good night and happy time zone. The Starcrier Conflict is brought to you in part by Veil the Void Reforged. Pierce the veil and adventure through the void as a vampiric alien, a sentient plant, or even a bottled aspect of the cosmos. These and countless other characters can face off against massive cosmic space worms, demons from the Broken Realms, and even travel through the roots of the newly rediscovered world tree of Yggdrasil. Find your next favorite adventure in Veil the Void Reforged. Visit sdgcreatives.com to learn more and pick up your own copy of Veil the Void Reforged.